Thank you. I'm so glad the mic is powerful. So after this lunch, if somebody is feeling a little sleepy, we'll probably be making sure that you don't get sleepy. Now, somewhere we should have the display. Let me make sure that works. It's always buttons that need to be pushed to make it happen. But I'll take advantage of that time. I'm going to have a quick presentation with some provocative thoughts. And then we'll have a Q&A. And at the bottom of that Q&A screen, there will be a YouTube link. Take a picture of it. It's a video which is 41 minutes, which I'm not showing. I will just show you a teaser, whatever minutes remain, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it's beneficial to watch the whole of it, because that one will tell you some things you, or more importantly, your parents, can follow and do to reduce the risk of having a stroke when they're over 60. There are a lot of conventional practices that people tend to do, which actually cause the problem rather than prevent the problem. So that's heads up. When you have the Q&A screen, you'll have the YouTube link. You can make a copy of it. And if any of you have any thoughts or questions right now, we can deal with that. You can preempt what I will be saying if you can think of something. But anyway, we have a mixed audience. I'm sure you grew up in different countries. I grew up in India. And 100 years ago when I was growing up, it was very simple. You go to a doctor, he's God's representative to take care of your health. I grew up in a small city called Mysore, which is close to Bangalore, and our family physician was phenomenal. He'll stick a thermometer in somebody's mouth. There'll be quiet temperature recorded. He'll hold somebody's pulse and be reading the pulse. And then he'll be talking to okay, what's your problem? What do you really need? 3 patients simultaneously. Don't give me all this nonsense about patient privacy or anything like that. That doesn't exist. And he will take the thermometer, get the stent, okay, this is it. And in those days, to give you an injection, he'll have a syringe and a needle which will go into the boiling water for sterilization, no disposables. He'll plunk it and give you the thing. And he would mix A, B, and C something and give it to you green colored or red colored. It doesn't matter what your problem is. The fact he saw you and gave you, you'll be cured. And my father used to have a serious problem with him. He'll say, okay, doctor, how much should I pay you? You don't pay, just come back later. So my father would go back and write, on this date, the sun went, this was the problem. Then end of the year, inspired by Mahatma Gandhi, who went through hunger strike to get Indian independence, my father will go sit in the doctor's office and say, doctor, I'm not leaving. Tell me how much I owe you. Give me some $20 for a whole year of treatment for our family. And we never understood it. Much later, I found out this doctor is a very rich agriculturist, and he wanted to do medicine, and his father said, no way. You have to take care of a field, agriculture, that's your job. This child was very determined. Then father finally said, okay, you can become a doctor under one condition. You do not charge your patients any money. Do it at no charge, and for your family, take money from our agriculture fields and run the family. So I could share some old stories of what the values used to be, which has some relevance in what I'm going to talk about, what's going on now, once I figure out what I have to press. I know, the thing is there are too many buttons. Okay. So here, quick, who am I? As I said, my name is Krishnan. I do organizational strategy and growth. And medicine is all my opinions. I did aspire to be a doctor once upon a time, but I couldn't make it into medical college. And we had no counselors in to say, idiot, how do you know you can be a doctor? Because I was a genius in math. And in those days, to be good in biology, you need to draw. You need to dissect an earthworm, see the blood vessel, and draw a picture, and that's how you get your marks, and I suck. You give me a scale and say, draw a straight line, I can't do it. But all that I learned the hard way. And I live in the suburbs of Washington, D.C. I do organizational strategy and growth for entrepreneur and other companies. And I have some very creative programs for primary education to prepare students for high school and to go to university and life. Now, why am I here? I've already been, I hope, a little bit provocative. I want to be even more provocative because the medical industry today is very different from what it used to be 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. The entire corruption has come through the health insurance programs and several other factors. So I'm trying to create some awareness of what we can do to take care of our health and not be totally dependent on physicians and hospitals. Now, with this kind of intro, is this the time when you need a break to go drink water or something so you can avoid this whole thing? No, please don't, because I think I need your inputs and your questions. And the reason you have a question mark after BREA is because suddenly my computer this morning died, the alphabet K would not work. So I had to do everything. So any word which comes, okay, what's the word I can do without K? I would put an alternate. Until at some stage I said, idiot, copy K from some other thing and put it over there, which I did subsequently in 1 or 2 places, but this was early in the game. And by the way, again, a failure from my childhood and youth. In India, we have a saying, Dilli Duru Hai. Some of you might have known what that is. It was said by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, one of the Muslim Islamic emperors. Delhi is so far, nobody can attack me. So in school, I would always study. I had exams 2 months to go. So this was the same story. I did it over a sleepless night. So do you have thoughts and opinions? Please think about it, because it'll be very nice for you to express your thoughts on medical care today and what is it you can do without depending on the drugs for which you have no idea what it's doing to your body or what you're going to be paying. In fact, even the pharmacist does not know what you're going to be paying. And so any inputs you give will be good for everyone. Now, how do you improve your future starting today? And future, I'm talking about health. It'll only change if you do something about it. And most importantly, you've invested your time coming here. You flew in from different parts of the world, country. So definitely you want to make the best of today. So the healthcare experience varies by individuals, depending on how you've been sick, when you've been sick, where you went, which country, which city, which physician, which hospital. So there is no global standard. But having said that, at the risk of generalization, I'll say one thing. In the olden days, I told you the doctor was a direct descendant representative of the God Almighty to take care of us. Those days are gone. It is pathetic that the doctor himself or herself has no idea what they're going to be paid for their service. The whole industry is driven by the insurance folks. And if any of you heard of an insurance company going bankrupt, please let me know. They always cover it. Doesn't matter how much money they lose this year, they'll raise your premium next year and never bring it down, and they'll make more money every year. So that requires strategic planning. And if anybody has problems with insurance companies, talk to me afterwards. I'll guarantee I'll save you 10% on insurance bills and give you a whole new program. But unfortunately, that's the way it is today. Now again, it varies by families, including their experiences, and the mindset of the people, what they think, how they panic. And by the way, if anybody has a serious problem like my wife did, she had leukemia. And everybody in the circles became a physician. They all became oncologists, getting her advice from Google and Yahoo, what should be done, and so on. And everybody's well-intentioned, and they make you feel guilty that you don't do anything that they recommend. So I told my oncologist that I will not read any of it, I will not go to anything, because let me assure you, I'm a smart guy, but my intelligence cannot compete with your 32 years of experience as an oncologist. So you tell me what I should do, and I'll follow your instructions. He was appreciative. He said, no, ask me any questions. I said, sure. And then he would tell his residents, hey, go meet that patient. They'll ask you interesting questions and you'll learn something. So I hope you'll ask me some questions and I'll learn something too. Now, again, healthcare depends on your age and of the ages of all the people around you. Today, children have such serious problems, either cardiac or oncology, and it's because of lifestyles, the processed food, and so many other factors. So we have to figure out what we can do that will keep us out of serious trouble. And the complexity, of course, varies by the health condition, and it varies by families, as I said, what experiences they have gone through, and by the social status of the individuals. Now, the access to doctors, including social connections you have, is extremely important. I know two countries well. One is India and the other is United States. In both of those, if you don't have a personal contact, it doesn't work. In the United States, insurance drives the whole healthcare, and none of them are stupid. They may not be smart, but none of them are stupid. And why would they kill the goose that lays the golden egg? So they'll make sure if you're 93 years old, they will operate and do a valve transplant. They may even attempt a heart transplant. Because to them, the longer they keep you in the hospital, the more money they make. I might sound cynical, but sadly, that is reality. India is a whole different thing. There have been allegations and studies in some places. Somebody goes in for a small thing and they come back without something, some organ missing. Maybe one kidney is missing or something else is missing. And somebody I know has seen teenagers without a kidney because they went for some stint and a kidney disappeared. And even people with resources will be on continuing care with all kinds of equipment, pumping things after they're dead. They just don't tell you they're dead and discharge you because they can continue to bill you. And they don't want to break your heart, so they, oh no, the God is looking after them, we'll see what we can do. That nonsense goes on. I don't know what I did. Okay, so the financial health insurance has messed up the industry. Then you have panic buttons around you, or everybody telling you what should be done, and all the self-styled experts you have to deal with, and the engagement with not-for-profit hospitals will make a big difference. Okay, what reduces healthcare challenges? There are some serious things. Number one is the food that you eat. Eat fresh food, locally grown as far as possible. Reduce processed food to the minimal. And eat uncooked food as far as possible when it's fruits and vegetables. Because when we cook them, particularly if you cook Indian food, you do everything. You cook it, boil it, kill it, cremate it, bury it, and then you eat it. And there are people who eat steak, rare steak, but unfortunately our vegetables are killed beyond imagination. The activity and exercise is critical. When my wife was having leukemia treatment, she used to walk on the hospital floor 2 times every evening. Because if you stay in bed for 10 days in a hospital, it'll take you 6 months to recover the degeneration that happens in your muscles. I had a friend who had a cardiac problem. He was in a coma for like 3 months. 5 years later, he still can't walk properly. So as long as one can walk, they should continue doing it. And if they can't, somebody should be doing physical therapy while the person is still in the hospital bed. Whatever you do it consistently. Like right now, we're all happily healthy. Go to sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time as far as possible. Exceptions are fine. Eat the meals at the same time, be disciplined, and you reduce the risk of things happening. And that is something we should all do for multiple reasons. I don't know if I shake my hand, this thing is moving. And one very important thing is the power of breathing. You hear a lot of talk about yoga, meditation, and all kinds of it, which involves stretching and breathing. And there are some very good programs which are easy to do. For the last several years, when I wake up, the first thing I do is a thing called Sudarshan Kriya, which takes me about 20 minutes. And by the time I get out, I do this in bed. By the time I get out of bed, I'm completely energized and ready to do anything I need to do. So this is proven testimonial that it really works. Now, having closed with all the physical things, the greater problem we suffer is our head. What goes on in our minds, self-inflicted torture, and the leading thing is stress, which is the global assassin. And I used assassin instead of killer. You know why? Because I don't have a key in my laptop. So, 2 years ago, I was at a retreat by a very renowned guru. And in my group was a 12-year-old girl, a child. And she told me how stressed out she is. And I met her for the first time, and we parted company after that particular retreat and that day, so I couldn't get details. But if a 12-year-old is saying she is stressed out, you can imagine how messed up we are. Now, adults stress over a lot of things, and I have found the easiest and best way. And fortunately, I didn't have to learn it. I was born that way. I saw this much later in life, and I want to share it with you. The Serenity Prayer, which is very, very simple. It's God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. If you think back in the last 1 year why you have been stressed, it is because of misplaced expectations. You wanted something, it didn't happen, and then you're stressed out how your life is going to change because it didn't happen. Or something has already happened. You're going, oh my God, this happened, it's happened. You're not going to change it. It's done, it's over and done with. Get it out of your system. This time I flew for the first time, I've been flying for more than, 45 years. This time nobody will guess how many tickets I bought to come here. Not here, just to come up to India. 6 tickets. Because I first bought 2, I had to change, I bought the third. Twice my visa did not come through, I had to delay. And then I finally reached Chennai. 1 week after I planned, caught a flight and came here the next day, which was yesterday. I had zero stress. I rationalized, you know what? There are things pending in the United States I had not done, and the good Lord gave me these extra days so I could finish some of those pending matters. And so it's all your attitude, how you can keep yourself from getting stressed. And my logic is, I can get stressed any amount, it's not going to change anything. And that's the reality we need to accept to keep ourselves fine no matter what happens. The next is when you wake up every single day, start the day with gratitude and a prayer for everything you have, including being alive today. The number of people who did not wake today would shock you. Be grateful you're not one of them. And if you are grateful, it transforms your life beyond imagination. Next time you take a flight on the plane, just thank the cabin crew. They are very fancy waiters and servers and cleaners. Jobs you will pay a pittance, maybe $2 an hour in most countries. Even $2 is probably too high. They are paid thousands. Extremely young, educated, attractive, but the work they're doing is so basic. Give them some cheer, give them some life, and you'll see how they'll feel so much happier and better. We are human beings, and it's not necessary for us to be Superman or Superwoman or Superchild. That's all good for the comic books and movies. Just being a human being is superb. And think about it. How are you different from a cockroach or a donkey or any other animal or insect you can think of? They are all born, they eat, some of them die, others grow to adulthood. They find a mate, make babies, and then they die. If that is all you and I as human beings are going to do, I think the sooner we die, the better it is. because we are a burden on Mother Earth, not producing anything of sustainable value. So try to live where you impact other lives in a way that they are benefited by what you do, and make a difference. You make a difference every single day, and the reason I couldn't put make is, you know why? That's why I said become a difference specialist. And the thing you should give others is not just your money, give them your time. What experience you have, what knowledge you have, you share it with other people, particularly young people, single moms, single parents. You will find your own life will be transformed. And I don't know if I have it. If I don't, I'll still tell you where it is, what it is. Oh, sorry. Okay. The thing is, a young woman from Seattle, Washington, visited me in Roanoke, Virginia, because her boyfriend's sister was getting married. We became very close. We ran the wedding for a couple of days. She came back in 2 months for her future mother-in-law's 50th birthday, and she brought me a T-shirt, which had something very simple on it, which said, "You make a living by what you get. You make a life by what you give." This quotation is attributed to Lord Mountbatten, who was from the British Raj in India. I didn't have a very high opinion of him, but once I read this, I said, oh, okay, maybe he's not such a bad guy after all. So if you can manage to give things to people, your wisdom, your experience, your knowledge, and of course, from time to time, some money and gifts and so on, you will find you feel so much better. Even the good book said, it's more blessed to give than to receive. And you experience that, and you'll find your lives much brighter, and you'll be much healthier. And for those of you who might be familiar with the Rotary International, which is one of the largest community service organizations in the world, it's about 120 years old now. They have a very simple test which they share, which I'm sure most of you can read, but I'll read it simply because I like to read it. The 4-way test of everything we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? If the answer is a resounding yes to this, go for it. Any of them, if it says no, maybe not, think about it, talk to the people who might be impacted, and then you will find you're always a person delivering good for everybody, and that is so desperately needed in the world today, and all of us can do that. Now, one of the critical things is mindfulness, keeping your mind at peace. I alluded earlier about Sudarshan Kriya. There are many of these things. In fact, I was listening to some guy on the video who started doing a yoga with 3 people over the internet during the COVID things, had to stay at home. And now he has the Guinness Book of World Records. He has 300,000 students who do yoga. So from doing a little yoga classes, now he's an entrepreneur. He makes, I don't know, probably maybe $1 million or more net of everything, because there's no expense. He does the videos and puts it on, on one of the internet portals, Zoom, and everybody watches. So it's just fantastic, his following that he has. You have more sophisticated things, auras, chakras, and others. Now, some of this you inherit from your parents. It passes through the generations, and it is important to observe them and take appropriate action. And we have technologies where that can be done. And most important is avoid negativity under any circumstances. Our nature is to always think, oh my God, how many of you bought umbrellas today? It could be raining when you're going home today. Don't worry about it until it rains. If it does, wait till it stops. Or walk in the rain and get wet. It can actually be fun. And then you can go home, shower, change, warm clothes, and what fun it will be for you to have a cup of coffee or hot chocolate or something. But if you're stressing about the future, which you have no idea what's going to happen, or you're stressing about the past, which you cannot change, you need to come to me for some counseling. And I may have to take a stick and beat you on the backside or something, saying, get real, become thing. I used to live and work in Rwanda and Africa. And my employer there, whom I'm still very close friends with after 35 plus years living there, would always say I'm more African than Indian. Because he'd say, the Indians always talk about what their father, grandfather, great-grandfather did. And he said, I always talk about what I will do next month and 3 months from today, and I won't do half of it. But he said, the Africans always look forward and talk of the future, and that takes stress out completely. You make plans, hey, the good Lord didn't want it to happen, it didn't happen, and you feel fine. You can blame the Lord for it, and life is cool. So we are conditioned to be negative, and I believe it's Dr. Wayne Dyer has written a book called Your Erroneous Zones. I read it 100 years ago. The only thing I remember is this. We have enough women here. Some of you, I'm sure, have daughters, and your daughter comes back from school at 5:30 in the evening, and today at 6:15 she has not come. What would you do? If you're a real mother, responsible, loving your daughter, you'll go outside your property and walk up and down. Oh my God, where's my daughter? Where's my daughter? And the whole neighbor, oh my God, look at this woman, she's so caring for her daughter. Instead, you sit in your house, pick up the phone, call the police. Has any accident happened where a girl 14 years old has been admitted in a hospital? Call the hospitals and find out. Call her friends, call the school, or take a bicycle or car or whatever you have, drive up on a normal road. Say, my God, what's wrong with this woman? The child is missing and she's so simple about it, not even thinking about it. But again, that's how you are conditioned. And my wife still criticized me once. We were in Bombay living, and the dog was in the bedroom because some guest had come. The dog jumped and locked himself in the room. You can't unlock him and bring him out. And our guest is gone. I started eating, and my wife says, oh, I can't lock. I said, okay, let me finish. What? You're going to wait? I said, what do you expect me to do? Get out of the house, climb a ladder, break the window and come in? It can wait. And the dog continued to jump up and unlocked himself and came out. So you give enough time, most problems get solved. Oops. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. So there is a device, and we have a table out there, Team Up. And either today she should be here or tomorrow she definitely will. It's a very small electronic device called Healy. It's made in Germany. And that does a lot to help manage a lot of the frequencies and energies that you need. And those who faithfully use it, and I'm one of those who does not. I have multiple devices, but I don't. But those who use it have really got tremendous benefits out of it. And chronic illnesses and other things have been prevented from recurring. It is FDA cleared in the United States, and it is CE, IIM, CDSCO approved in Europe. Now, thank you for your patient listening. Any Q&A? And after the Q&A, yes, we do have a few minutes. The link is down here. I would encourage you to take a picture and watch it at your convenience. Share it with your parents. The older they are, the more important it is. Because there are some very simple things you can do to reduce the risk of stroke. Any questions from anybody? Okay, if nobody is going to add to the fun by asking questions, can you get that link up there? I don't see a link. Oh, now I got it. Oh, but I don't know how do you come down to that? I don't think I can click.
Don't think that can be covered. Does it come down?
I wasn't aware that they can't just scroll in and hit it. We are so used to doing that on our computers. And only after coming here, I discovered they don't use a computer, but they use something else. But on the positive side, You have 9 minutes and 11 seconds bonus time. If someone wants to get up and jump or dance or sing or something to raise the spirits of everybody, then I'll feel, okay, I achieved something. But
does anybody have any questions for Sir?
you know, I always used to think, keep a dummy set of questions. So, okay, I did get some questions in advance. This is what John asked. There's no John here. But I could just say something and fool. But I didn't try that today because the video was my time span. I wanted to show as much of it as possible. It talks about very simple things. When you get up in the morning, please drink water as quickly as possible. Don't go first and get that first cup of coffee, because you need to hydrate your body, not dehydrate it. And that's why you should drink the water first. And personal bias, of course, these are plant-based bottles in which the water is served, which is fantastic that CXO does that. Most people have regular petrochemicals-based plastic water bottles. Please don't drink a drop of water from them, because the water which is collected, processed in a factory, loaded in those bottles, shipped off to the warehouse. Then from that warehouse, which is not air conditioned, it sits there, it is shipped off to whoever is the distribution, Costco, BJ's, Walmart, wherever, or the grocery stores. It sits in their warehouse, all under heat, non-air conditioned temperatures. From there, it comes to the retail, and then it's put in the cool air conditioned place. During the times when the plastic bottle has had the water in heated environment, microplastics from the plastic bottle goes into the water, and when you drink that, your brain picks up microplastics 20 times more than any other part of your body. So most of those who've drunk a lot of this water you've been consuming, you'll be surprised to find maybe 15, 20 grams of microplastics in your brain. I believe most of us are old enough to die of other causes before the microplastic seriously damages us. But I'm sure you have children and grandchildren in your lives. Make sure they don't touch plastic water bottles. They should have some metallic or something in which they can carry their own water. So that's one of the things which is an aside. The stroke book, of course, talks about that. Not about this, but generally about the importance of drinking water when you wake up. One of the things which the book says, the video says, which I shared, is one of the things people do is they wake up in the morning and then they sit like this at the edge of the bed for 10 or 15 minutes. They may be rubbing their knees like I'm doing here now. And the thing is, don't get up and just run away like that, because you may trip and fall. But they sit like this. And when this happens, the blood goes more to the feet, it doesn't go to your brain. And that can cause brain deprivation, blood deprivation for your brain, and cause a stroke. Now, what this physician has said is, if there is a clot in your leg, that can go up, and go to your brain and cause a stroke, which my cardiologist friend said, it's nonsense. Reason is, the clot is going up in your veins. It goes to your lungs. It goes up to your heart and then gets pumped into your lungs, where it gets oxygenated, and then it goes to the brain through the arteries. So therefore, he said it is wrong. And he had a term, which obviously I don't remember, is in your lungs itself, the clot can kill you. So for that reason, it's important that you walk as much as possible once you wake up, so that everything will go out really well and you'll stay healthy. And it doesn't matter how old a person is. Usually you can walk. My mother is 95 and she can still walk. And she's totally independent. Thank the Lord. But people who don't walk are asking for trouble. So that's one important thing that I remember from it. And when you see the video, you'll find a lot more that's interesting. Now, I don't know how quickly the next program is starting. Probably it is. So 5 minutes, 4 minutes, maybe a good time if somebody wants to take a bathroom break. Thank you very much.
We have a question, and that was so lovely. Let's give him a loud round of applause. That was so insightful, full of personal anecdotes, analogies, and like great revelations out there. Over to you.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Alan, sir. I know it's hard to talk after the lunch, but you did a great job there.
Oh, you're
got
so
a great
kind.
energy. I know you're not a doctor. The reason I'm saying this is we tried to sell, because I'm into healthcare technology industry. We tried to sell, and we see a lot of people talk about evidence-based medicine. I know there are a lot of doctors here. Evidence-based medicine, evidence-based treatment and all that, right? So how hard it is for you, not being a doctor, but having such suggestions to convince, how hard it is for you to convince people and get them do this without having the proper medical or clinical evidence on this. That's the thought I wanted to ask.
Awesome question. Simple answer. I don't try to convince anything to anybody. By the way, today is Monday, the 8th of December. Really? Yeah, that's what I think. I don't really know. And I let it go at that. Because it doesn't make sense to try to convince people. And my wife, from time to time over the last 100 years, throws little tidbits here and there. And one of the things she threw a long time back is don't give advice. The wise don't need it. The fools don't heed it. So for that reason, I don't convince anybody. I don't attempt convincing anybody about anything. I just share what I have learned or experienced. You take it or leave it. If you take it, I'm not elated. If you reject it, I'm not heartbroken. But if somebody benefits from it, I'm grateful that I have done something today to share whatever I knew. And as I said, sharing whatever you have should be our primary objective. And I think that's why I feel I am highly energized. I don't know if anybody of you would even imagine that I flew from the United States, landed up on Saturday morning in Chennai, unpacked, put things away, slept maybe 3.5 hours, and then on Sunday morning I left. I slept on the plane. I always sleep on the plane before the plane takes off. And then here I had a busy day all day. I met a friend, had lunch with them, then came here, met all my friends at CX. Finally, I went to my room at 10:30, 11 in the night, and then I started doing my presentation, which I put here. In between, I watched some 1 or 2 videos which popped up, and I didn't have a K, I had to use that. And oh my God, it's now 8:45. And then I showered and came here. I'm hoping I didn't look like anybody, forget the lunch, that somebody who never slept a wink last night. And I think that comes after energy. And I said, I'm going to sleep early tonight. But no, I got reminded I have a keynote address tomorrow in CX. And I'm going to be talking about leadership. Leadership today and beyond. And it's at 9:20 in the morning. So I've got to prepare that keynote and have it ready without the K. And that happens only because of attitude. And if I can do it, every one of you can do it. So please be cheerful, please smile, help as many people, share whatever you have, and you'll have a most wonderful life, and one day you'll just drop dead and be happy. I've told myself very clearly.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think we all
Thank
need
you.
to take lessons from Sir. Thank you so much, Sir. Let's all give him a huge, loud round of applause. I think that was really, really informative, relevant, and full of anecdotes and insights.